you have a very visual writing style as well. And something that really stuck out to me, I'm actually going to read a passage quickly, because, first of all, it kind of, I think, harkens to the title, Passing Through Veils, but also I found a fun connection there that I wanted to bring out. No spoilers, no worries, because I still
That's
think
all right.
everybody should go
That's
read
okay. No, no, no.
it.
That's fine.
The light dimmed as if some offstage technician had anticipated her entrance. The world became soft and gauzy. It reminded Catherine of a theatrical technique she saw in college in which a scrim separated two realities. When the lights went down in front of a diaphanous veil and others came up behind it, one scene gave way to another. A parallel world slipped into the first. So I love that passage just visually, thinking about the past and the present kind of
Hmm.
sliding back and forth. But having read this in close contact with watching Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, again, I
I knew you were going to
immediately
go
made
there.
the connection to The Cat from Hell,
Yep, of
which
course. Yep,
is
yep.
such a fantastic piece, based on a Stephen King story. I'm a huge Stephen King fan from way back. And you guys used that technique
Of course.
exactly, with the flashbacks in that film, where William Hickey is kind of telling the story about how all these people have been indirectly murdered by this evil cat, revenge cat. And it's really beautifully done in that exact way, where you have, your scrum and the lights go down kind of in the foreground, which is the present, and come up in the background in blue, to show the kind of flashback. Was that something intentionally you were thinking about when you were writing this?
Yeah, no doubt. You got me. Um, it's an old theatrical gag, and it's used very effectively in well, I can't think of a particular production that I've seen. Um, well, actually, I can. There was a show not long ago, well, quite a while ago, actually, Sunset Boulevard with Glenn Close, and on stage, what they did was they were able to move between times using that technique. I then, and Rob Draper pointed this out, and we used to study it. Francis Coppola used it quite a bit in One from the Heart, and the cinematographer that I worked with on Dune, Vittorio Storaro, and I talked about it because it's one thing to have the scrim uh, and have a background painted on the scrim, which you can then move through. You have to know how the technique of lighting in order to make it work, because the scrim has to be lit foreground, the background behind it has to be in darkness, so you feel that the scrim is a solid wall. Once you bring the light down in the foreground and bring the light up in the background, the scrim is like a screen that you have on your window. You can see through it. So I love the idea of merging time, past and present, or past and future, whatever you want to do, without having to use a more artificial technique to get you there, like a ripple dissolve or a fade to black and a fade up. Um, I love the idea that time can exist simultaneously, and so one invades the other. And in horror, or in psychological thrillers, it's a really effective technique. I've used it so many times. I used it on a Creep Show episode a couple of years ago. I did, and I used it in a Tales from the Crypt episode I did back in the '90s. And if you do it really well, people don't even recognize it, but they feel it, and that's the most important part.